Hey, it's Nick from Grayscale Gorilla, and welcome to the What's New in R16 videos. In this one, we're going to go over Reflectance, which is a new channel and kind of texture system inside of Cinema 4D R16. So let's head on in. So you can see we have a material that's difficult to make with standard or before R16 materials. It's this kind of car paint shader. And if you're familiar with V-Ray or other renderers, you know that they work a lot differently than Cinema 4D's texture system does. But now, Cinema's starting to incorporate a lot of those types of ways of building materials into the new version. So let's open up our texture here for our car paint, and let me show you how this thing is built. First of all, check out, there's a brand new channel in here called Reflectance. Now, this replaces reflection and replaces specular, because specular is really just a fake reflection, right? Specular is made and is still around, you know, it's still in here, but it's really just built to make a fake reflection and make it render faster. But Reflectance changes all of this. It actually is an entirely new render system. It actually can take care of almost everything. Color, transparency, reflectance, bump, alphas, like all these things are actually built into all these layers. So the good news is that this looks gorgeous. The renders approach like a V-Ray type of system because they're starting to use different ways of doing this. So I'm still learning, obviously, a lot about the science and everything behind this render engine, really, this texturing engine. But the results so far have been really, really cool. Little bit confusing to get into, but really cool. So let me show you kind of quickly how we built this car paint texture, so you can get an idea of how this works. So let's just go in and delete all these layers. It's basically a layering system, and it's all on one object. So here we go. We have a blank, we have a blank material, and we could add. In our Reflectance channel, we could add a new layer. So we have reflection layers. We have Anheuser trophy here. You know, you got the metals going on. You got diffuse channels, which is what we're going to use as a base layer. So this is a diffuse reflection. Now, remember, everything is a reflection. In the real world, everything we see is light reflecting off of it. So if you start to think of it that way, you can basically build everything in our Reflectance tab. So here's our reflection of our car, and this is actually picking up the color of our scene, but it's white right now. We can make this whatever color we want. We can make this like a dark blue and maybe turn it down a bit and just get kind of a base coat. Now, if we think of this in the same way as you would build a material, it actually starts to make a lot more sense. So with car paint, we have our base kind of metal coat, or our kind of matte paint at the bottom here. So let's add a new reflection, and we're going to use the GGX reflection, and we're going to go over all this stuff in other tutorials, but in this quick video, I'm just going to kind of go show you how to layer this stuff and build it up, just to show you kind of the approach. In this case, we're going to roughen up the reflections, so they're really nice and rough for the scene, and they're going to pick up all the reflections. That is an HDR that's surrounding this van here, and then we can come down here, and in our Fresnel settings we could set this to a real Fresnel now, and in this case we can set this to, let's say, like a plexiglass, and maybe tone it down, tone down the Fresnel a little bit. Let's wait for this to render. So now what you're seeing is a kind of blurry reflection. Let's tone that down. We don't need it that blurry, but you can see if we the more we tone this blurriness down, it's a real blurry reflection, and it comes with all the render time of a blurry reflection, but it looks gorgeous. Check this out. This is just 2 layers already, but we have more to go. Let's go back to our layering system here, and let's add a new one. Let's add another GGX material, and this time we're going to build those kind of car paint flecks, and we're going to basically try to get little bits of metal inside of our car paint that reflect the world around it. So how do we do that? First of all, we use a layer mask to mask out most of this reflection. We only want it on parts of the car. So what we could do is we can go to our layer mask and say, let's grab a noise, And let's shrink it way down, right? We can go like 2, and then clamp the bottom of it to try to get little flecks. So you can see what it's representing over here, and that's not bad. Maybe we can get away with less flecks and a smaller system. Change the delta as well. And that is a little bit better. Let's render high res to see where these flecks are sitting. Still a little bit too noisy. We can crank this up. We could change noise types. We could do all that stuff, obviously. But this is looking pretty good. There we go. Let's get those flecks back. Perfect. And now these flecks, I actually want to use the bump channel. So the bump strength is actually coming in from our bump, and this is going to aim these metal flakes in different directions, right? So that's our kind of metal flake layer. On top of that, we'll do one more. Let's get this GGX one more time, and in this case, we're going to use a Fresnel, and we're going to set this to plexiglass again. I think this one tends to look pretty good as a top coat. You could also use regular glass, which looks pretty good, as a top coat. And now we have a totally glossy top coat that should pick up all the reflection. So I'm going to tone this back a little bit just to get some regular reflection here. And I'm also going to turn off the bump. I don't want any bump on this. I just want a clear top coat. There it is. So check this out. Now we have all 4 of these layers, and of course we could tweak and do all this stuff. We probably need to if we had more time. But check this out. We have our base color. We have our next top coat, which is our blurry reflection. Then we have our speckles that are in here, and then we have our top coat. Look, check out how gorgeous that is. And it's a really cool system. And as I learn more about it, obviously we're going to do a lot of tutorials on this. One thing to keep in mind is that the old reflection tricks are kind of gone. The like grab a Fresnel and drop it on your material that is in honestly a lot of our tutorials is gone if you upgrade, right? So what do? Well, you can go back to the old reflection kind of, and we're gonna have a tutorial about that when R16 comes out. So you can always go back if you're not comfortable with the new system, and of course it's all legacy proof. So if you upgrade and open your old scene files, the old textures and everything will still render the same and look the same in R16 if you don't update them. But you do have the new system if you want to upgrade. So there's going to be a lot of, I feel like, for me, this is the biggest part of the upgrade, so expect to see a lot of tutorials and videos about this Reflectance system. Again, as always, just like the rest of the website, as I learn this stuff, I'm going to try to get it out to you guys, and so you can play with it and start to build these textures. So keep an eye out for those. Check out some of the other renders on the blog post at grayscalegorilla.com, and I'll see you in another video about R16, or if not, I'll see you somewhere else on the website, I hope. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.